So this is my first time writing by hand. Just staring at a blank piece of paper like this was a little frightening. Hello and welcome back. My name is Peyton. If you're new here, I'm currently working on the first draft of my adult fantasy novel, Project Old Lovers. In this video, I'm going to be trying an author routine for 2 days. The author routine that we will be trying today is Sir Philip Pullman. So who is Philip Pullman? So Philip Pullman is best known for his series, His Dark Materials. It is a book trilogy made up of The Golden Compass, also known as Northern Lights in other parts of the world, The Subtle Knife, and The Amber Spyglass, and was picked up as a film adaptation in 2007, which was later canceled because I guess they didn't screen the whole series, and later found out that there were some pretty polarizing anti-Christian themes going on. However, those reports aren't confirmed. Those are rumors, and they kind of pass it off as the movie just didn't perform in the box office very well. So we never got the other 2 films in that series. But hello, puppy. Hi. Hi, Adina. She's on her own schedule. These anti-Christian views also led to the books being banned, so they are on the banned books list. But years and years later, HBO picked up the trilogy and made a complete series adaptation.
Does it concern you to see your works in different media like that?
No, not at all. The money's usually quite good.
I watched both of them. I've read all of the books. I still have my original copies from when I was a kid, and it even has a film shot from that 2007 film adaptation. Anyway, this is my second copy, and then the last one, this is my favorite cover and adaptation of the cover, I guess, The Amber Spyglass. And I absolutely adored this series when I was growing up. I remember reading The Golden Compass and being wowed on a line level, which was very new for me because at that time I was around like 11 or 12 years old. Even now, stopping and admiring the way he described an orange sunset and the language that he used. And I think this is one of those books where the writing really inspired me and made me want to become a writer. Like, I didn't just love reading it. I was like, oh, wow, that's gorgeous. That's incredible that he sees the world this way. A little more on Pullman's background is that he is a scholar through and through, and it is very apparent in the way he writes, in the plotting and structure of his stories, and the characters that he creates. It's very evident. For a large part of his career, he taught part-time at the Westminster College of Oxford, which is an approved society of Oxford University. So basically this man is like tweed jackets, elbow patches, reads all the dusty books, Oxford scholar. When I was researching this video, something I found very shocking about him is that he does not consider himself a fantasy writer.
That's the sort of book I like. I like realistic stories. I don't much care for fantasy. I don't read it, I don't write it, I don't think what I write is fantasy, I call it realism, but others may have a different view.
He does not like fantasy, he does not read fantasy, but his books are classified as like children's fantasy. The term he uses for his own works is realism, not magical realism. Just realism. So what is Philip Pullman's writing routine? In 1996, he became a full-time writer, and that is the routine that we are going to be following for the next 2 days. He is a morning writer. Usually he writes in his attic office at home. I did not find a particular time in which he wakes up in the morning, so I'm just going to stick to my normal morning routine, my normal sleep routine. He does not leave his desk until he reaches his quota of at least 3 to 4 pages. And he will sit there and maybe stare out the window until he does reach 3 to 4 pages. He only writes by hand, and he uses a very special pen and a very specific type of paper to write on. He only uses A4 lined paper with 2 hole punches, and he does something that I find just very charming, very cute. He dedicates the paper to the project, and how he dedicates this is he chooses a colored pencil in a certain color, and in the top little box on that A4 paper, he'll just color a little box in that color, and that is the only paper he will use for that project. It's just a little detail. And then once he has written that 3 to 4 pages, which is about 1,000 words for him, maybe a little bit more, then he types up those written words on the computer. Once he's done writing for the day, he's basically free to do whatever he wants for the rest of the day. He says that he will go walk the dog, he'll go spend time with his wife, his kids. He might socialize with friends, go out for coffee, dinner. He mentioned that he also really likes to go out in nature. He just likes to sit on benches. He'll like to go walk around a pond. Of course, he reads, but he did emphasize the importance of having non-writing or reading hobbies. And he didn't phrase it this way, but I imagine this is so he can just refill the creative well, have that balance. And he said that he really enjoys woodworking. It sounds like he's tried a lot of different hobbies, but at least at this time in this interview, he was really into woodworking, and he'd shown a couple pieces that he'd made himself that were actually quite good. And he said he really liked woodworking because it's something that keeps his hands busy and his mind active in a different way from when he is writing or reading. And he said it's just very important to just use your mind in different ways. He also mentioned that when he is stuck on a scene in his writing, he has a favorite cafe that he will go to write. So for one of these 2 days, I will be going to write in a cafe. My version of his routine is going to be quite similar. Like I said, I'm going to wake up at my own time, stick to my own time schedule. But once I am done writing for the day, on the Sunday, I think I'm going to let myself relax a little bit, because this week is going to be full of a lot of deadlines and a lot of jumping around and juggling my workload, my different workloads, I should say. And then the Monday, when the work week starts, once I finish writing, I will be jumping straight into all the other work activities I need to do. I might give you guys a sneak peek of that if I remember to film. We'll see. In terms of writing by hand, that's not something I usually do. I don't think I've written stories by hand since I was a kid, so we'll see how that goes for me. We'll see if I like it. I don't have like a fancy fountain pen, quill pen, anything, so I'm just going to use what I have around here. I don't really feel the need to go buy a pen, since I don't even know if I like writing by hand. I'm also known to lose pens, so we're just going to use what we have. And I will be using lined paper, but I don't have any of the 2-hole punch A4 that he's talking about. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. Writing by hand at first was super intimidating because it was just a blank page. I was starting a totally new scene. There's something that happens when I type where it's like a moment or two of me acclimating, but just staring at a blank piece of paper like this was a little frightening. Once I got going, it was fine. I also found that my wrist and my hand was starting to hurt as I was getting to the end of that page 3. So I don't know if this is just something you build up over time, if they have a better writing technique than I do, but if I were writing an entire book by hand, my wrists would be absolutely destroyed, I think. So once Philip Pullman has met his page quota for the day, which is 3 to 4 pages, then he goes onto his computer and types up what he just wrote by hand. I have finished. I have 3 pages written by hand. I did prep 4, but the scene felt like it naturally concluded at these 3 pages. I'm not used to writing by hand, so I don't actually know if I'm around 1,000 words. Philip Pullman said that he knows after years of writing by hand and then typing it up that his usual daily quota is that 3 to 4 pages, which is roughly 1,000, a little over 1,000 pages in his handwriting. So we're gonna type this up into my Scrivener, get it documented, and see how many words this actually is. Either way, it feels like the scene is done for draft 1. So I've just finished typing up my pages, my handwritten pages from earlier this morning, and my final word count is 1,136 words from the 3 pages that I wrote by hand. So what am I gonna do now for the rest of the day now that my writing is all done to follow his routine? I'm gonna take care of some personal things. We just got some, what are they called? Floating shelves. We just got some floating shelves, so I'm going to see, they can't hold too much weight, so I'm going to see how I can like aesthetically decorate them but also enhance our organization at the same time. Wow, that got really dark. Okay. Oh, okay, I don't know what that was. I have some laundry behind me that I need to put away, so I'm gonna do that. I'm trying to enjoy my Sunday before I have such a grueling productive work week ahead. Like very long hours, lots of different projects, lots of deadlines all happening at once, plus get a video out and everything. So we might do that. I definitely want to read some more today too. Pullman says that when he is having a hard time, when he's stuck on a scene, he'll go to his favorite coffee shop and he'll sit there and sip on some coffee and just think and try and write. And he says being in a new environment helps. And I'm kind of stuck. I keep thinking about Sir Philip Pullman saying that he doesn't always know where his ideas come from. They just come to him. He knows where he is. He's at his desk when they come to him. Some days he struggles to get the 3 to 4 pages. You just have to show up. You have to be there to meet them, because the idea might come to you and leave if you're not there. It might go to someone else. The more I write, the more this rings true for me in terms of writing fiction, writing books. So I'm sitting here and I'm struggling through this draft, and I know that what I'm writing is bad. Most of what has been written today will be scrapped, will be rewritten, though I did get a few lines that I uncovered, I guess. A few lines that are kind of guiding me. So we are now at the end of day 2 of trying Philip Pullman's writing routine, and I just want to take some time to reflect on what I thought of that, how it went. For the most part, I would say his full-time writing routine is what we did in here, and it's very easy to follow. Very much like the writing routine of Sarah J. Maas. If you haven't seen that one, check it out. Very balanced, and it fit in pretty nicely with my regular responsibilities, and I was still able to write on a Monday, which is mind-blowing to me. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, give it a like. It really helps me in the algorithm, and I'll see you next time.